Ooh, here's a question. Are you a natural bodybuilder? Say hello to Adam. He's the new member of the family. It's been 9 months in the works, huh? Adam is a fine young man, a specimen, and he's doing well. Everything's fine. All the vitals is good, and we're just hoping that it keeps up. Pacifier? Maybe. Inte? Kom då. Rör på gången. You know, one thing that you forget is how freaking tiny they are. Starting to get hungry. Okay. Pause. Wow. That escalated quickly. Anyway, time for a real, honest Q&A. So whenever I do these Q&As, I usually post onto Instagram. So if you are not following me on Instagram yet, then you should do that if you want to participate in these Q&As. I did post here on YouTube previously, but I never felt that it was giving me any questions worthy of answering. But on Instagram, it does. I'm just gonna start my way from the bottom and then we're gonna work my way up. When is the last time, if ever, where you were in a creative rut and how did you overcome it? That's a great question. I think that I'm gonna say for the last 1.5 years, I've been in sort of a creative rut. But one of the things that I always try to do is make as much content as I possibly can with topics that I think is fun. Because when you're in a creative rut, it's very easy to find obstacles around you that prevent you from doing the things that you want. So for me, one of those things is to make stuff without having any sort of pressure. Because the more pressure you build up on yourself, the harder it's going to be for you to create, or at least that's the case for me. But one of the things that I've noticed is that if I have a vision, it's better to start working on it piece by piece rather than thinking that you're going to be able to pull all of this off in one single day. The YouTube landscape has changed. What are your current challenges that you're facing? Honestly, it's views. That's one of the biggest things that I'm currently fighting and trying to find my way back to a place where the views tend to be higher than what they are right now. But it's also not something that I'm too worried about because I know that it ebbs and flows. The more I work on making videos, the more views I will eventually get on those videos that I create. Are you pre-selling any of your merch, or do you just get feedback from your stories and buy in bulk? As of right now, it's just about feedback. I have a quite clear vision of what kind of merch that I want to have. This is some of the examples that I've made so far. So if you think that these merch types or merch prints, I guess, look cool, do drop a comment down below. And whenever those are ready, I will do a pre-sale where I announce the merch over on my Instagram first and then here on YouTube. What is something that you do that you feel doesn't get the recognition that it deserves? I'm probably going to say all the behind the scenes of both creating my course, but also the business aspect of things. I don't feel like I want to have any recognition for it, but there's so many things that you don't see when it comes to running this as a business. You know, some YouTubers have managers that covers a lot of the brand deals, and some YouTubers have an entire team that helps them. I'm alone still. The only thing that I do have is an accountant that helps me do the books because I hate that shit. Yeah, I do everything. I do everything from the design and the visions and the mood boards, the idea boards, the prototyping and structure and so on and so forth. And it's been a challenge. Then again, I don't know if I want to have recognition for it. It's more so that it's something that I do that gets hidden away because you only see the final result. This video. There's a lot of kind comments here saying congrats on the baby. Thank you to everyone that is just being nice. I appreciate you a lot. I have a little bit over a year left in high school. Any advice on how to start in your profession? Practice, my dude. Pick up a camera, talk to the camera, and practice. If you want to become a YouTuber, that is. If you want to go in and make, cinematography stuff, or you want to be a freelancer or a videographer, then practice. Pick up a camera and practice. Like, learn the ISO, learn the shutter speed, learn the aperture, understand what they all do together and why. Don't care so much for color grading in the beginning before you understand the aspects of it. But you also gotta understand that being a videographer is not the same as being a great editor. So if you want to be both of those things, then you also need to practice edit. Very important. How was the transition in 2019 with all the quitting and starting and loans? It is very hard to explain the situation that I was in, but I've tried my best throughout these years in several different videos to show you the struggles and hardships, and I've never shied away to talk about my past. But there's been so many different things that has affected the entire transition to make it harder than what it probably could have been. Incredibly hard mentally and physically because of a lot of different reasons that we're coming to pretty soon, I think. Will you consider doing more tutorials for shooting and editing cinematic videos with a phone? No. Best app for editing trendy talking head reels. I'm going to say that Instagram Reels is probably the one to go if you only have a phone. But then everything is scalable. How did you convince yourself to go bald? Man, this is no convincing. It's nature's course. It's not that I woke up one day and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go bald. It's more so like, hey, you know what? You're going bald. How does it feel to be a dad? Indescribable. Can you do a deep dive on handheld shooting, settings, workflow, and lens choices? Honestly, I think that if you scour through my page, you're going to be able to find all the answers that you might find. I even think I can drop a link in the description to a video that I have that is how to do handheld shooting, I think. Hopefully. How do you carry all the confidence and humbleness at the same time? First off, thank you so much for saying that I have a lot of confidence and humbleness. And secondly, I honestly don't know. I think it's more so about never forgetting the past and always reminding yourself where you came from. Because if we start to forget what was prior, then it's very easy to think that everyone around us that isn't on the same level as you is just lower. And I never want to be that. It doesn't matter for me if you're working as a janitor or if you're unemployed, you still have the same values as me and you still have the same opportunities as me. So I'm no better than you, no matter where you are in life. So I think that when it comes to respect and being humble and having confidence, I always meet and greet people with respect and give them the respect until they prove that they're not worthy of my respect. But I also think that confidence comes with age, and it's not something that you just get because you gotta convince yourself that you're good enough, every single day, every day of the week. And again, when I stopped bodybuilding, I had so many mental ghosts that it was incredibly hard to get rid of all of those. Why did you switch to English? I also am in native, but messing the big guys could be hard. I'm guessing that you're thinking if you move into the English speaking territory, it's going to be harder for you to, grow your channel. I think it's a little bit of what do you want to do? Because the reason that I switched to English was solely to become better at English. I wanted to learn how to speak like this instead of having the good old Swedish where I just, hey, my name is Peter and today we are going to talk about cameras. I didn't want to be there. So then I started to practice and so on and so forth. And now 7-8 years later, this is the results of those years. So think about what it is that you want to achieve. Are you planning to take some time off for the family? Yes. If you had to choose a different line of work, what would you have done instead? Wow. I have no idea, but I am really into product design, so I would probably try to study product design or CAD design or something like that and see if I could make a living from that. What is your main income source right now and how did you get there? Again, as I said, this, what you're looking at right now is what I have as my job. Like, this is my daytime job. I work with YouTube. I make as many videos as I can, and AdSense and sponsorships and, Instagram and digital products and whatnot. All of those things are combined into my job, I guess. So that is my income source. Everything that is the PL brand and the Prime Gear brand. From 2019 to 2025, what one skill played its biggest part in your success? I want to say consistency, but I feel like I'm just repeating vinyl at this point. But I gotta say that discipline and consistency are two things that you, like, without those things, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. If you're not, disciplined enough to show up to work, then you're going to get fired. Simple as that. And if you want to get promoted, you got to be consistent in providing the results for the company that you work for. But if you don't do that, you're not going to get the promotion. So if you don't have those things, it's going to be very hard for you to move forward in life. And I think that when you combine those two things and you have a vision that you apply those things towards, that is when you start to move boulders and mountains and create a freaking path of your own. So many people saying congrats on the new baby. Thank you once again. Appreciate that a whole lot. When will your merch be ready to buy? And will you make it ship to the UK? Dude, like, I'm looking into all the things. Trust me. And again, follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, because that is where I will announce it. Announce it. Best advice for a small YouTuber wanting to get to 100K with a busy life and family. Honestly, dude, it's about hard work and showing up all the time, having good ideas, making better videos, and constantly becoming better at what you do. There's no recipe for success. And it doesn't matter if I were to give you 100,000 subscribers today, what would you do to capitalize that? That is the question that you got to ask yourself. So whenever you think about an overnight success, make sure that you always think about, if that were to happen to me right now, what would I do to maintain the momentum that just happened? If you can't do that, then you're not in the right position right now. But you can work to get to that position. And nobody knows when that, viral hit might happen, but someday it comes if you work for it. One of my favorite sayings, as I've said plenty of times before, is luck usually comes to those who work hard. Ooh, here's a question. Are you a natural bodybuilder? This question is something that I've been asked over the course of my years, ever since I started doing bodybuilding, way back in the 2000s era. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you and say no, I'm not. I used PEDs a lot. So I was actually using PEDs from 2012 to 2018 constantly. And it's not something that I recommend. Please do not do that. There's so many complications that would come from that you don't see in the moment, that you will have to tackle later in life. A couple of things that has happened to me. You probably already know that I went in for surgery because I had a blood clot. So many people said, well, it's because of the COVID vaccine. No, it's not. It's because of my use of PEDs and the mass that I had on me, because the muscle pressed on the vein down on one of my collarbones here, or one of my rib bones. That's how you say it. And then when I got a pump, it pressed it even harder. So anytime I moved, it's sort of like not shaved. What is the word for that? Damaged, I guess we can say, the vein, and created a scar tissue on and in the actual vein. So when they opened it up to actually remove one of my ribs, then they saw that was over the course of many, many years that this scar tissue had happened. So Even though the COVID vaccine might have helped it accelerate, the ground, or like the main issue was because I was so big that I was back then. And I'm probably going to make an entire video on this topic because I feel like there's so many youngsters out there that are asking me constantly, you know, if I was a natural or if I did that or if I took steroids. And it is one of those things that I've done. You have it. That's the truth. If you have to ask, then you probably know the answer. And it is like people are too naive. What is your best advice when starting your own business? Try to find clients that are reliable and clients that you personally like and maintain them whatever way possible. Because the more clients you have on retainer, I guess you can say, the easier it's going to get for you to have a successful business down the line. Does image quality get affected by the software you use to edit your videos? Not really, no. But the export is the most important thing. What was your top weight when it came to bodybuilding? It was actually 130 kilos. I was so freaking heavy. And that is also one of the things that, you know, comes from being that heavy. Like, my heart is probably a little bit enlarged. My blood pressure is higher than it should be. My joints are screwed. Weighing 130 kilos and then lifting heavy freaking weights, that is damaging to your joints, especially when you lose the weight later in life. Do you have any plans on competition? Absolutely not. Like, I like doing the workouts. I like lifting weights. I like looking good and having the pump, but absolutely zero interest in fitness. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a fitness influencer. I don't want to be competition. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I want to meet probably Noel Dazel and Z-Bum and those kind of guys just to pick their brains. But when it comes to the fitness side, no. It's a thing of the past. And since I've been a part of the business myself and, you know, used PEDs and been in the surrounding with all these people, I also know how fake it is. Why you are bald? Again, nature, bro. Have you ever gotten a call from DC to play Batman? That'd be sick. Have you ever visited Poland? Yes, Motion VFX was super kind on inviting us down to Poland last year, and it was a great freaking trip. And all of these plugins that you see that I use, Motion VFX, link is in the description. Not sponsored. Why do you shoot with Sony? Because it works. Why are your arms so small? I don't know, man. It's genetics, I guess. How long did it take for you to finally achieve financial success in the creative industry? I'm going to say that this is the first year where I feel comfortable where I'm at. But it's also, I have this feeling that somehow, like any day now, this is all going to go away. So I don't know if it's a financial success in that sense, but to me, it feels like it's like I've achieved a lot, but it's still not secure. But to be able to get to this point, it took me from 2018 up until this point, so 8 years. How are you planning on diversifying your business and make it more resilient? Well, a couple of things that I got coming this year. As we talked about already, we got the merch, but also new physical products under the Prime Gear brand, which is going to be sick. And then we also have some new stuff that is coming for the course. So everyone that has purchased the PL method lifetime, as I've said previously, but we're also going to open up some new spots that is not going to be tied to the course that you can secure and join in on live streams. That is going to be a monthly recurring thing on my website. So that's going to be sick. Other than that, I don't know, maybe YouTube and AdSense and more digital products. But I feel very secure with having those places or those things in place. What is the best advice that you could give to a 17-year-old? Don't worry too much, man. You will figure things out. And the only thing that is going to tell you if you're right or wrong is going to be time. Do you live from YouTube? I do. What is your favorite protein powder? See, now I'm going to give you the best tip that you're ever going to get when it comes to fitness. Try to get as much of your nutritional values from real nutrition and not supplements. I don't take any supplements except for a multivitamin tab in the morning. That's it. And during my bodybuilding days, the only thing that I took was protein powder and amino acids, or essential amino acids. There's way too many people that are relying on the supplements to make the difference, when the biggest difference is going to come from the kitchen and what you actually put in your mouth. So if you can, go up every morning and eat 6 eggs like I do, or 10 eggs when I was at my biggest, and then a couple of hours later have maybe like a protein shake, and then have some good lunch, maybe potatoes and chicken or some minced meat or something of the likes, and then a couple of hours later, again, you eat something with protein. Try not to eat too much fast carbohydrates and that kind of stuff. Understanding the nutrition is better than trying to find the solution with supplements. The supplement business, as I said, is a weird business. That was pretty good Q&A. I don't know if you liked this one, but if you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe as well. If there's anything that you want to know, do drop a comment. I'm going to try to answer that. And thanks so much for sticking around. You are the reason that I'm able to do this. So thank you. Thanks so much for spending your time, and have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye.